take this overboard now.
What up, you guys? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 14, Episode 7 review. Baby, I got a lot to say about tonight's episode. Mind you, this is going to be a very short season. Like, this season is almost over. I bet you we'll only get about 10 episodes because there's no cast trip, there's no reunion, so there's not really much more left, especially after next week's episode, which is the altercation. But anywho, so on tonight's episode of Jersey, we pick up where we left off last week with the Feuds leaving from their confrontation with the Rualises or whatever Louis' last name is. Teresa says to Louis, he's the wrong Teresa Giudice. She's so goddamn up. Is there another one? Do you have a clone? Do you have a twin? Like, what you mean he messing with the wrong Teresa Giudice? Girl, this girl is so dumb. So the Feuds end up leaving the bottle of champagne or whatever that she bought for Joe Gorgas behind, because they was like, he don't want that. Like, they leave it on the bar. So as Louis and Teresa are leaving, they end up seeing it and taking it with them. After that, when they're in the car leaving, I noticed that Rachel pointed out to John that Louis just sat there and didn't say nothing. Like, he literally only said one thing, and that was, Teresa, be quiet so John can tell his story. And he didn't say anything else. And that's because A, and B, I feel like when he's done with Teresa, he'll be able to say, I didn't say any of that. She said that, or, you know what I'm saying? I can very well see him in the future turning on Teresa. And because, like I said, he ain't gonna step to no man the way he stepped behind a computer and do all his dirty work. And Teresa's so dumb and dingy that she didn't even pay attention to the fact that he left her out there to hang and did not stick up for her whatsoever. We go to Dolores' house, with her and Paulie, and Paulie's going to get something to eat for her and her mom and her daughter. They talk about Frank proposing to Brittany, and Dolores' daughter was like, yeah, speaking of waiting, because he's tired of waiting to propose to her. He was like, I gotta get it done. He just is anxious to do it. So Dolores' daughter was like, speaking of waiting, like, what's going on with you and Paulie? And Dolores is like, I don't think it's that his ex doesn't want a divorce, but Paul wants to start a business with me. This is the commitment he wants to make. When a man brings you into his business world, that's the equivalent of meeting his children. Dolores, stop saying pacify yourself and your dumb decisions. Girl, like, that is the stupidest shit I could have ever heard you say. Ever. That no problem going into business with you, because it'll be easier to part from a business relationship than it would be a marriage. With a business relationship, depending on what kind it is, he doesn't have that much to lose. What are you talking about? And then you even said that's the type of commitment that he wants to make. What about what you want? Once again, you're settling for men that aren't willing to give you the things that you desire. It's like you have not learned anything. And even her mama and daughter was sitting there like, okay, girl, where is the food? Because we ain't got time to be listening to this nonsense. Dolores even knew that she sounded stupid when she was saying it. She's literally trying to convince herself that this okay, and she knows well that it is not. So then we see Teresa at home with her family. They show Louis' son, who has special needs, get a haircut, and just their family dynamics and how they love on Nicholas, and how close of a tight-knit family they are. And they really are a tight-knit family. They have really come together and built this loving home amongst them. That's why I think give Teresa the spinoff. I don't think Teresa will come back next season. I think that they're going to give her a little spinoff show with her and her family. Let her do that and let her ride off into the sunset, okay? All the tree huggers, the tree stumps, the branches and the leaves will flock and watch and support, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why they added that scene into this week's episode is because right after that, they show a similar scene at the Feuds home where the Feuds have a daughter that has special needs as well. Their daughter has what was that called? Lip and tongue tie issues where she's going to have surgery, and she has been delayed in walking and things of that nature. So they're both taking care of children with special needs. And it's like, they showed that juxtaposition to show y'all not as different as y'all think y'all are. You like, if Teresa wasn't so deranged, maybe they could have been close and been a support system to each other. After that, Jen is at her house trying to figure out what she's going to wear to Melissa's housewarming party. So she's sitting in her bedroom talking to Bill, and she's acting like she is such the victim when it comes to this situation with Joe. I haven't spoken to Joe. I wonder is he going to speak to me? Like, Miss Mama, you are the one that started all of this mess with that man by calling him a. You started it, talking about his penis. And I know some of you want to get in the comment section and say they assaulted her or whatever happened at BravoCon. Girl, that was after the fact. Let's talk about all the stuff that she did to get us to this point, okay? And none of us were there, so we don't know what happened, okay, at BravoCon. But what we do know and what we did see with our own two eyes was the fact that that girl started with that man. So we're not going to act like she's just this poor victim and Joe was just out here attacking a woman. If that's the case, her husband wouldn't want to have anything to do with him. So get out of here. Stop it with that foolishness. And then she's sitting up here trying to pick out what she gonna wear. I'm like, why? Everything that you have is tacky and ugly. You gonna look a mess regardless. It really don't matter what you wear, girl. So after that, she says to Aiden that there's something about Danielle with this elitist attitude of hers, and I'm gonna talk to her about it tonight, because she was telling him that she didn't like the way that she treated Lena or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, you can't talk about nobody and the way they act and the way they treat people. Have you looked in the mirror lately? Have you seen you? Have you met you, Jennifer Aiden? Girl, I wish she would try to come to me telling me about how I act. Girl, I would read Jennifer for filth. So Rachel comes, she was like one of the first people to get there, and she tells Melissa about her meeting with Teresa and Louis and how they got into it. It only lasted like 9 minutes, and how Teresa gave her a gift for Joe. And she was like, I know you lying. She was like, I did not bring it. We left it there because we was like, I know he ain't gonna want it no way. She was like, exactly. He does not want that. I don't want that in my house. It might have a tracker on it, child. Anything like, no, we don't want that bad juju in the house. And she was like, and anyway, how she gonna give you a bottle to give to my husband when we don't even talk to y'all? We don't with each other. You said you were happy not to ever see us, so why would you give somebody a bottle to give to us? Make it make sense, because it doesn't. And Teresa knew exactly what the was doing when she did that, because she knows her brother is very emotional. She know he's going to react. So what Teresa was thinking, okay, I'm gonna give him this bottle to show the fans that, hey, I still love my brother. I might not want to have a relationship with him, but I still love him and I still support him. And it's a gift, just a good show of faith or whatever the case may be. She knows that her brother is very emotional and that he was going to either explode, go off, cause a scene. It was going to rattle him. It was going to get him upset. And that she will be the topic of conversation. She knows that Joe is easy to trigger. Very easy to trigger. I see right through Teresa and her antics. And guess what? Everybody online, everybody at the party just talking about Teresa. They can't stop talking about Teresa. They're talking about Teresa because Teresa sent a bottle to her brother that she called a and said she wanted nothing to do with. That's why they're talking about her. Girl, people are so Stupid, but okay. Dolores arrives, and guess what she has in her hand? The bottle. And Melissa's like, I know you didn't bring that to my house. She was like, look, she wanted me to bring it. I didn't ask any questions. Of course you didn't, Dolores. Of course you didn't ask any question, because Teresa will tell you jump into the goddamn lake and you gonna do it. Teresa back at her house mentions to Louis and one of them is of hers that Danielle is hanging around people that she don't like, and her daughter was like, well, as long as she ain't talking about you, then it don't matter. Like, let her do whatever she gonna do. And I was like, but nobody's gonna talk about that yeah, she don't like the fact that Danielle is hanging around Melissa and them. She don't like the fact that Jennifer is hanging around them either. But for the show purposes, they're gonna continue to run with this narrative that, oh, it's fine, you know, she doesn't care. If that's the case, that she wouldn't give a about Danielle being around him. She's way closer to Jennifer. So if she cares about Danielle being around him, then you're not going to sit up here and tell me that she don't care that Jennifer is hanging around him. Girl, oh my God. Dolores tells Joe about the gift. And of course, it works. He immediately becomes upset. Livid, shaking. I get Joe Gorga, and why I like Joe Gorga, because I be forgetting. Me and Joe Gorga share the same birthday. His birthday is August 21st. Mine is August 21st. We're both Leos. And when we really give a about something or someone, we become very, very emotional and very triggered and very just like, ooh, like you can't even hide it. I don't give a about a lot of stuff that I do give a fuck. Oh, you gonna know about it. You're gonna know about it. It's written all over my face, my body language, my breathing. Everything is going to change, and you're gonna know that I'm affected. And Teresa's ploy worked. She had everybody talking about her while she wasn't there. She upset her brother, riled him up. Everything that she wanted worked. And I hate that Joe allowed it to work. I really honestly do. Melissa handled it better than him, but she knows her husband. So Joe, you know, gets to going off about how that was fake. That's a bunch of like, if you want to give me a peace offering, show up at my door. Let's have a one-on-one conversation. Don't send me no goddamn when you last time I saw you, you said you ain't want to me. You was dead to me and all of this type of shit. Girl, get the here. So then here go Jen Fessler in her confessional talking about, I think Joe is making a point in front of all of his friends and family. I don't think anyone giving a housewarming gift is trying to do something nasty. Well, girl, that's because you're riding the hype train right now, and you gonna convince yourself, much like Dolores, to believe whatever to give you a reason and an excuse to be friends with Teresa. All of y'all making Fugazi is them all off the show. Fessler is such a disappointment. I can't stand her now. Cannot stand her, because it's like, you don't even believe this coming out of your mouth. You nor Jackie believe the bull spewing. Neither one of y'all. So Joe ends up burning the card that Teresa sent him without reading it. Jackie falls, and I hollered when she fell, because I was like, that's what you get. God don't like ugly, because everything you doing this season is a bunch of BS, and you know it, we know it, the viewers know it, God know it, everybody know it. Like, none of this that Jackie's doing this season is even believable. Like, she has really played herself and shown how weak, meek, easily manipulated, fame hungry, thirsty that she is. Like, I just cannot deal with Jackie anymore. I'm so happy, because I bet you did all of this and you won't even be back next season. You won't even be back, you dumb. Now you've sacrificed actual real true friendships just to be on a television show. You're a clown. So Dolores tries to tell Rachel that John was wrong for saying that Teresa is the poster child for mortgage fraud. Thomas, that wasn't right for him to say that to her. First of all, Dolores, you can shut the up. Like, you really honestly can. You weren't even in there. And that's why I was so happy Rachel was like, nah, hold up, wait. Because first of all, I would have been like, did she tell you what the said to make my husband say that? Oh no, she left that part out, didn't she? Duh. But she didn't even go there. She was like, when you sit there and say to John, how dare you talk about Jaden's mom like that? I will punch you in the face, because that's not his mom. And Dolores was like, well, I can't defend that. You 100% right. You shouldn't have been defended, because it's none of your business. How about defend the fact that this fucking ogre over there don't want to marry your dumb ass, you simpleton. And I saw a lot of you in the comment section last week answer my question about, was it wrong for Rachel to disregard Jaden's mom? And a lot of you was like, no, you know, because that's who's raising him. And I gotta respect that. I got to. I guess I was just, you know, trying to think of the mom side of the situation. But I see both sides. I really honestly do. And I understand why Rachel is as passionate about the subject as she is. So here come Jackie whispering to Fessler in her ear, Thompson, I've never seen somebody hate Teresa so much. You have it? Ain't no mirrors in your house? Because I could have sworn the last 3 seasons you couldn't stand her. Like, girl, what the are you talking about, Jackie? Oh my God. Then she takes it up a notch and says, I think she has people in her ear. What are you doing, Jackie? Like, Jackie really ought to be ashamed of herself. She really honestly should. Like, what the are you doing? And I wish that Margaret and Melissa would have said to her, like, what the are you doing? Like, is all of this really worth it? Because you look like a clown, you bozo. Oh my God. So after that, Jackie then says out loud to everybody, you really think that there was any chance she was going in there with Margaret and Melissa being her best friends and things end up friendly? And she's talking about it in a way like she don't even like Margaret and Melissa. Like, she don't them, like they weren't her best friends. It's like, Jackie, what the am I in a Twilight Zone? You nincompoop. Rachel was like, if that was the case, I wouldn't have even went in the first place. Duh. Melissa even brings up the fact that she don't even care that Jackie's befriending Teresa. She was like, at the brunch, you tried to make a little problem. That was a private conversation between me and you. Talking about when Melissa brought up the fact that when Teresa and Jennifer was going around saying that her husband was cheating on her, that it affected her so much to the point that it really, you know, had her over there. And Becky was like, there was a conversation between me and you. And Melissa said, it's written in your book, girl. Like, what the you talking about? And this goes back to nothing that Jackie says makes sense or is believable. You're putting on a show. You're putting on an act. You don't even really like Teresa, bitch. You don't like that lady for real. You do not. I firmly believe everything that has been said on the blogs, that Teresa's lawyer went to Jackie's book signing and told her, you need to flip in order to keep your spot on the show, and I can help you become a friend to the show, because they think that they run Bravo, child. I firmly 1000% believe that. And Jackie is so fame hungry and thirsty to get her orange or whatever back that she was willing to say Melissa and Margaret in order to do it. 1000%. And so Jackie was like, well, my book ain't even out yet. Doesn't matter. You still wrote about it. Like, you wrote in your book that Teresa saying that your husband was cheating on you made you relapse. So you mean to tell me you really want to be friends with somebody that A, tried to say your husband was cheating on you, okay? Tried to ruin you, okay? Talked about you like a dog. And then on top of that, it affected you so much that you relapse with your anorexia, bulimia, or whatever. But now I just want to be around good people. Girl. Ooh, girl. Jackie tries to then insinuate that Margaret insinuated that she was the one that got her book deal. That is not what that lady said whatsoever. This, once again, is another case of nothing that Jackie says making sense. They rewind the scene. She said, I was the one that championed you in your book. Basically saying I was the one cheering you on, supporting you. That does not mean that she's taking on the responsibility of saying that she got you your book deal. Like, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. You putting 10 on 20 so you could have an excuse or a reason to be mad at Margaret. And that ain't even what she said. Now, what you could be mad at is when she made the little slick comment about your mama. Now that was a dagger. But the book, girl, get out of here. Girl, get out of here. So Margaret was like, girl, I didn't say that. I did not say that. And then Jackie was like, and you're jealous of my friendship with Teresa. And Margaret was like, okay, girl. Margaret was over her at that point. So she then takes it up and I'm done with this. I'm walking away. Okay, girl. Okay, Erica Kane. I had it wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. Dolores told Margaret inside what Jackie said about her. So Margaret was like, okay, let me go outside and check her. And then that's when they had their little one-on-one conversation and Jackie decided to storm off. So then when she got back inside, Margaret was like, her now, like her, like I've had enough of her. She playing in my face. She lying on me. She acting like I ain't never been there for her. Like, I don't know what's her problem, what she got going on. But if that's the game she want to play, two can play it and I can play it better, because Jackie ain't no heavyweight like Margaret. She's just not. So that's when Margaret tells Dolores that Jackie was mad that she didn't tag her in a photograph after the softball game. Next thing we see, Jackie was walking past Joe Bonino or whatever. He was like, I think he said, like, you're so pretty or something like that. And she was like, oh, Joe. And she gives him a hug. Margaret looking like, bitch, you don't want to with me. You don't say to my husband. And I agree. I 1000% agree. Everybody was telling her, Margaret, don't do that. Don't do that. No, because this bitch want to play in my face. So she went over there and told Joe, me and her ain't good right now. She don't want to me. You don't her, period. And he was like, all right, one thing about Joe Bonino, he gonna ride for Margaret regardless. Like, he just as messy as Margaret. But I stand on that, because don't be sitting up here telling me I'm a horrible friend, I was never there for you and all of this stuff, and then go hug my husband out of her. So Danielle then pulls Jen Aiden to the side and confronts her about, the situation with Alina stuff. And Jen was like, you kept saying, who is she to be with us? And I don't like that or whatever. And I agree. It's not right to sit up here and act like you better than somebody. I 1000% agree with that. And Danielle do need to calm down with some of the shit she be saying. But Danielle in her confessional tells us that it wasn't just Lena that she told to get out of the VIP section. It was a bunch of people that weren't supposed to be in the VIP section in that section. And she told security to get all of them out because she got the VIP section for her, Teresa, and Jen and somebody else, right? A bunch of like attendees or whatever were in there, wasn't supposed to be in there or whatever. And she was like, another thing is that Lena wanted to bring Laura, who is Margaret's ex-friend that allegedly was going around telling everybody that Melissa had cheated on Joe and was in the back seat with somebody in the car. So she was like, that's another reason why I didn't want her in there. And I was like, oh, okay, now it makes even more sense, because of course Jennifer was going to leave that part out. Of course she was going to leave that part out to make the viewers hate Danielle when we didn't even have the full context of what was going on. So now it makes even more sense, because y'all was trying to be fucking messy. So Jen was like, we did so much for you that night. And she was like, what you mean you did so much for me that night? Like, and she told me something, we did so much for you that night, you didn't think to put Aiden to practice on the step and repeat. Danielle was like, girl, I paid for you a car service, fed you, put you up in VIP. Like, you ain't paid for shit. So why would I put your husband on a practice on a step and repeat like he was a sponsor? Make it make sense. Now you just pulling out your ass at this point. And so Danielle was like, absolutely not. I wouldn't put him on a step and repeat. So she calms down. And I got to give it to Danielle. She tried to bring it back and try to salvage things. She was like, look, if I messed up that night, I apologize. If you feel some type of way about anything I do moving forward, just come to me. So they leave off on a good note. I don't know what happens between then and the next time they see each other, but they gonna end up fighting. So Jackie then, her fake fugazi, gonna try to go over there and talk about Margaret to Dolores and Jen Aiden. And Dolores stopped her real quick and was like, I heard that you was mad that I didn't tag you in the photograph. And Jackie was like, I was, but I didn't talk you at all. Lied that fast. Margaret was like, oh no, I ain't your friend. I'm gonna show you when I ain't your friend. So she quickly pulled it up on her phone and texted to Dolores while they're having that conversation. And she tells her husband Joe to tell her to check her phone. So Joe like, check your phone. So Dolores put on her glasses real quick. Was like, I just gotta check on my dog. Hold on. She read the text message, and the text message read, I definitely think intentional. She's a slob and I hate her. You hate her over a picture? How old are we? What? So Dolores like, I'm a slob? And Jackie was like her face went white because her ass got caught up. Because like, you want to sit up here and play me when I have been nothing but a friend to you? Oh, let's play then, if that's what we gonna do. And so she was like, that's what she sent to you? And she was like, I'm sorry or whatever. She was like, you should be sorry because I'm a slob? Like, really? Oh, okay. Dolores was like, I don't talk about you like that, just so you know. And Jackie was like, the things she said about you and Paul are horrendous. She just doesn't put anything in writing. And Dolores like, well, then she's smart. She's a lot smarter than you, I guess. Baby, Dolores ate her up real quick. Jackie couldn't say. Jackie looked so stupid. So Dolores in her confession was like, getting called a slob from the girl who's a hot mess almost every day, crying all the time over everything. And I'm a slob. And Margaret, yeah, she needs to stop talking about me and Paul too. Do I think that Margaret has said something about her and Paul? Yeah, because we all have said it. How the f you with him? You're dumb. So Dolores was like, this isn't the first time I've heard you said stuff about me. And Jackie was like, trying to explain herself. She's like, no, just give me a minute, like, because I'm mad or whatever. She walked away and Jackie just stood there looking stupid. And I was like, that's what you get. That's what you get, you dumb. And so that was the end of the episode. Every week I get more and more aggravated and annoyed with Jackie and Jen Fessler. I just cannot with them. I hope they show this fight next week, because if not, I'm gonna be pissed. And I hope that Danielle won. I hope she beat Jennifer real quick. Okay. I'm gonna give this week's episode of Jersey an A. It was a really good episode. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all thought about it. And please make sure that you watch my House of the Dragon review. It is so good. So make sure you check it out. It's super funny. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye. Get the